Hello and welcome to this Excel tips video. I'm Sumit Bansal, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can reuse some of your macros in all the workbooks in your system. So you can save these macros that you use quite often in a personal macro workbook and then be able to use all these macros in all the workbooks on your system. So let's see how to do this. Here I have a list of the top grossing movies so far, and I've got this list from Wikipedia, and you can see there is a hyperlink in each of these cells. And what I want to do is extract the URL of all these hyperlinks here in the adjacent column. Now I cannot do this using any inbuilt Excel function or functionality, but I can do that using a simple VBA code. And this is the VBA code that I can use to extract the hyperlinks in the adjacent column. Now, I don't just want to use this code in this workbook. I want to use this code in any workbook on my system. So the next time I open a workbook and it has a cell with a hyperlink, I would be able to extract it using this VBA code. And to do that, I need to save this code in something called Personal Macro Workbook. Now, a Personal Macro Workbook is something that would open whenever you open Excel, so that any macro that you store in it would always be available for all the workbooks on your system. But to create Personal Macro Workbook, you would have to take a few steps. So to do that, we'll first have to go to the Developer tab. Now, if you do not see the Developer tab here, right click on any of these tabs, go to Customize the ribbon. It'll open the Excel Options dialog box, and here click on Developer. And when you do that and click OK, you would have the Developer tab available. Now, when you click on the Developer tab and click on Visual Basic, it is going to open the Visual Basic editor in the backend. And here, as of now, you can see I have these two objects, these two projects, which is example2 and example5. Now these are the two files that are currently open. But when I also create Personal Macro Workbook, that would always be available here. It's not here because I do not have it. So let's create that workbook. To do that, I would again go back to the Developer tab and here click on Record Macro. And when I do that, it opens this Record Macro dialog box and I can name the macro. Let's call this test. You can call it anything you want, just make sure that there are no spaces in the macro name. And here I would store this in Personal Macro Workbook. Now, when I do that, if I do not have any Personal Macro Workbook already, Excel would create one for me and it would save it in a folder so that whenever I start Excel, that Personal Macro Workbook would start. So whatever macro I save, and I can record the macro and save it there, or I can manually copy paste the macro there. It would always be available to me. So in this case, I would click on OK. Now I do not want this macro to do anything. So I would just go here and click on Stop Recording. Now again, let me go back to the Visual Basic editor. And now here you can see we have something called as Personal.XLSB. This is the file that would have all the macros. And if I click on this and click on modules, I have module 1 and you can see I have this macro here. Now, because I did not do anything, the macro is fairly useless. So let me delete it and let me copy the macro that I want to use and paste it here. So the name of this macro is extract hyperlinks, and this is now in Personal Macro Workbook. You can save this here and close this. Now I can use this in this workbook or in any workbook I want. See what happens when I come here. I select this data. I would go to Developer tab, click on macros, and I would run this macro here. So when I run this, instantly it is going to extract all these hyperlinks here. But this is for this workbook. So let's do one thing. Let's go to the other workbook that I have open. And again, I have these cells with the movie names and the links, and see if the macro would work here or not. So let's select this data, go to the Developer tab, click on macros, and you can see this macro is available in this workbook as well. And now when I run this, it works in this workbook as well. So no matter what workbook you have, now this macro is going to be available for all your workbooks. You can have a macro like I have here. So let's go back to the Visual Basic. And in this case, I have this module here, and you can have a macro like this, which is a subroutine. And you can also have custom functions. So let's say you create a function and you want to have that function available in all the workbooks, then you can save that function here. You can also have multiple modules. So if you want to add a new module, simply right click here, go to Insert, and then insert a new module. So maybe you can have a module where you keep all your frequently used functions and one module where you keep all your frequently used subroutines, or you can arrange it whatever way it suits you. So this is how you can create a Personal Macro Workbook and then have macros in the workbook that would be available in all the workbooks. Now, what if I want some of these macros to be available very easily. So I do not want to go back to the developer tab, click on macros and then run it. I want these to be available in the quick access toolbar or as a tab. So you can do that as well. So let's go back to our original workbook, which is this one. And here I would click on this customize quick access toolbar option and then click on more commands. And here I would click on macros. So in the Excel options dialog box, click on macros here and it shows you the macro name here. And if you have multiple macros, all of these would be visible. So you click here, then click on add. So it gets added here and then click OK. If you want to change the icon because the icon of this looks a bit dated, you can do that by clicking on modify and choose something a little more fancy. Maybe let's choose a play button. And now when I click OK and then click OK, now I have this macro available in the quick access toolbar. The good thing here is that in all the workbooks I use, as soon as I want to extract the hyperlinks, I simply come here, select the data, click on this, and I would instantly get the data. Now this is one macro. If you want, you can add multiple macros in the quick access toolbar. Similarly, you can add macros as a tab. So let's say I want to create a new tab and I want to have all my frequently used macros in that tab. So I can come to any of these tabs, right click, go to customize the ribbon, and here I would click on new tab. And when I do that, it adds a new tab here. And within the new tab, I would come here, click on macros and add this in the tab. So you can see it has new tab, and within new tab I have new group, and within new group I have the new macro here. And now when I click OK, I have this new tab here and the macro is available. Now if you want to change the name, you can easily do that. Simply go back here in the new tab, click on rename, and you can call it, let's say, my macros. If you want to change the icon, you can modify it here. And now you have the my macros tab available, and in this you can have multiple macros, and you can also create groups. So let's say you want to have all the formatting related macros as one group, then you can do that as well. Now, in case you want to remove the Personal.XLSB file, then you can do that as well. But to do that, you need to know where is it saved. And for that, we'll again go back to the Visual Basic Editor, and you can also open the VB Editor by using the keyboard shortcut Alt F11. And here I have the immediate window. If you do not have it, go to the View tab and click on immediate window and it'll appear. And here you type question mark and then application dot startup path. And now when I hit enter, it is going to give me the address. Now this is the address of the folder, and all the files in this folder always opens whenever I start Excel. So if I go to any folder here and I open this folder, you'll see that I have the personal.xlsb file. So if I do not want the personal.xlsb file anymore, I can simply delete it from here. So this is how you can create and save macros in a personal.xlsb file and then use these macros in all the workbooks in your system. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.